Alright, well, I decided I'd go ahead and videotape the setup process. I'll talk about that in a little bit, but first let's get this thing turned on. And I've got screen recording going on my phone as well. Maybe I'll figure out how to do an overlay. First, let's turn this thing on. Let's see if it's just a press or a press and hold. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's a press and hold. Lights flashed. Let's try entering the map. Nothing. It must be a long press and hold. There it goes. Now we'll, I don't know what the, like, sword coming out of its sheath sound means. Don't know why it's not connecting. The blue light is on. I don't know if you can see it right there. So, I don't know why it's not connected. There we go. It connected. It just takes a minute. That's what I've learned everything about Luba is just wait a minute. So the only way I know to drive is to go to mow and then manual mowing, and then you can just simply not turn the blades on. So that's what I'm going to do. Let me just straighten up the camera, make it a little bit more. Yeah, maybe. Is that level? Hopefully. Maybe a little bit more of that would be better. Alright, I'm just going to tell it to go to the dock by tapping the little power button.
Start recharging. Start charging.
Not sure what that error is. Seems okay. Alright, so I'm going to now go in and add an area. Please ensure the task area is clear of wires, blah blah blah. Please manually drive to a lawn boundary first. Leave dock automatically. Alright, now I made this mistake doing Luba 1. If you just start driving, it's not making a map yet, so you gotta tap the play
Task
button.
area planning.
I think that's a little bit more subtle. I think last time it actually said like start mapping. Anyway, as long as you know to hit a button, you'll see the pretty much only button. Alright, I'm just gonna make a quick and dirty one. If I were to like start the task area way back there, then when it goes to follow the boundary to go recharge, it would follow along the edge of the house here and come up. It's really awkward. Then it's got to make a tight turn, come up and around, go in front of the charger, and then back in. So you're almost better off having the charger recessed and have the task area start somewhere in front, which is why having gravel, concrete, something, so that way your charger's not in your mowing area. It actually makes more sense. So I might go ahead and move it over there. But for now, I'm just going to get something going, see if everything works. All right, here we go. Alright, just so that way you have some idea where I'm headed, we're going to go make a big square. Let's see if I can turn up the speed. Device management. There you go. 3.9 frames per second. Let's see how fast it drives now. There she goes. Oh, sorry. This is gonna the camera's either gonna bounce a lot, or I can't control Luba with two hands. So I can't tell. The same problem was with Luba 1. I cannot tell if it's the curvature of the dirt or the minor bumps, or if it's just the motors are not perfectly tuned. But if I just do straight up with no turns, I think I'm fairly straight on, but watch it curve. Well, now it's going fairly straight. And you can see it kind of hopping around. Okay, that's at about 30 feet. That's the distance Bluetooth can go. Be pretty cool if they could do like Bluetooth 5. I think they've gone up to like 120, 160 feet. Anyway, newer phones could handle that. Alright, this is just a test area, so I know this is nice and crooked, but it will be just fine. I'm putting a nice rounded curve on there. Whew, this is going to be really crooked. Doing it with the camera and at this speed is pretty rough. But I really just need any task area. Any task area will allow me to mess around with all of the new features, hopefully. So one of the reasons I changed my mind and decided, you know what, let me do a screen recording. Let me record the setup process, if you will. You didn't really miss much as far as me just connecting it to the network. I did take some screenshots of some of the errors I had, and literally they all just fixed themselves just by letting it sit. I didn't do anything last night. So it had errors. I went to Walmart, ate dinner, came back, connected to it to drive it into my garage, and the errors were all gone. So no problems whatsoever with the new app. The big thing was reading Reddit last night. There were a bunch of people who, oh boy, I overshot. Let's just back that up. There we go. So there were a bunch of people on Reddit talking about the app that they use. Some people seem to have gotten this new Luba like several weeks, maybe even months ago. And they were talking about some app. If you just look on Reddit, their main Momotion thread, you'll see you can actually find the tag Luba 2 and read through. It's not many posts on the topic, but it was like flight. I forget the name of it. I meant to look it up before I started recording, but the word flight is in it. And then there was somebody else who mentioned that the app only worked on Android 13 and not Android 14 and some other things. And it was all pretty old discussion in terms of a brand new product. So I'm on Android 14. It works fine. I use the main Momotion app, the same one that I use for Luba 1. I was not given any instructions by Momotion to download a different app. So I think all of those problems that you may or may not see on Reddit have been sorted out. So I figured, why don't I take a video and show what the new app does, what its current state is. And this is not a review by any means. I'm just demonstrating what it looks like, how it works. And in my experience, it's basically worked just as good as Luba 1. You know, it just takes some time. If you have some minor issues, just wait it out. Wait a few hours if at the max, sometimes 5 minutes, sometimes 30 minutes, and the errors tend to just go away. All right. Control Luba to the start. I always had this problem with Luba 1. You really want to zoom in. I'm just using pinch to zoom. Zoom in and figure out, oh, my phone is not happy with my cold fingers. Okay, so wow, my phone is getting phantom taps. Ooh, not sure why. I don't have this problem on my phone usually, but I do get it occasionally from my case. Sometimes does that. There we go. Planning is complete.
Task area complete.
Good enough. All right, go to work. I'm just gonna send it to charge.
Start recharging.
All right, well, you will just look at this Luba while I go ahead and see what options I have. For instance, I'm guessing I won't have the feature to draw anything in my yard. Guessing that will be a later feature. You can see it missed. Wow, it worked. That looks a little crooked, but I guess it's... Nope, it's still trying. Okay, try again. So, let's see what we can do. Jobs. Create a new lawn mowing job. Luba is not ready. I guess it needs to go back and charge. That looks good.
Start charging.
Alright, so this all looks very different from Luba 1. It's possible this is what Luba 1 now looks like because there's been a lot of discussion about a big app update that broke a lot of Luba 1's functionality. Or what some people are saying is they feel like the settings were just simply reset and you have to just double check all your settings. My guess is when they unified the app and made it work with Luba 1 and Luba 2, that created some problems. Because again, from what I gather on Reddit, Luba 2 early adopters were using a separate app, and so now they've unified it because I'm definitely on the normal app. And so now that it's unified, I guess some people are having problems with Luba 1, but no problem so far. This is what it looks like, at least with the Luba 2. Path spacing. You can just do efficient cutting, but can I customize? No, I can't customize. Never a big fan of that. When they give you presets, they should let you customize it right from the preset. So efficient cutting is 11.8 at 1.6. So we'll just do that. 11.8 at 1.6. All right. Bypass the obstacle at a fixed distance after the collision sensor. Oh, after the collision sensor trigger. Bypass at dynamic distances after collision. Avoid side obstacles before touching. I like that idea. Confirm. No touchy. Single grid, double grid, or segment grid. There's discussion about that segment grid. It breaks up your lawn automatically. Perimeter mowing laps. I don't actually like any because people are always worried about ruts. And I feel like that's a good way to avoid ruts. Because every time it charges, you really want it going around your perimeter, or you're going to have really ugly lines, in my opinion. So, no offense to whoever has those ugly lines. I'm sure they're beautiful on your lawn, but not on mine. So I like to have it not go around the perimeter when it's doing mowing laps, but instead it goes around the perimeter every time it needs to charge. So cutting root angle, this is always fun. I love doing the 90 degrees. So, sorry, my son came to the window to watch me. So I think I'm going to leave the cutting root angle alone for right now and just hit confirm. So cutting height, I'm going to go all the way up. Since I've got the high version, I'd like to see just how high that is. I mainly got it so that way it would drive over sticks and things a little bit easier. You can tell in the pictures that the high version just simply sits higher. I believe there's an offset in the axles. You can kind of see the top of the axle's there and then it drops down. My guess is the non-high version doesn't have that offset. So since I have a pretty bumpy lawn and lots of twigs and pine cones and stuff, I wanted to just be able to drive over that stuff without a problem. So that's why I wanted the high version. I also figured I had the low version, so a standard version of Luba 1, so this will give me a chance to do something a little different.
Start working.
Alright, as you can see, it's gonna go basically towards me in order to start cutting. I'm not really sure which side of the lawn it's gonna start on. But I'm gonna let it start cutting in a straight line, and then I'm gonna stand in front of it and see what it does. Use this vision control. It's definitely not hugging the perimeter. Like, I drove a lot closer than that. Very interesting. Maybe you will need to do perimeter laps in order to get it to cut right at the edge. We'll see once it needs to charge how close it gets to the edge. That's interesting. Maybe they're trying to take care of the rut problem that people are having. Maybe they'll have it alternate how close it gets to the perimeter. Alright, unfortunately I drove so crooked that the first couple of laps are going to be very short. Oh, it shows that it's adjusting the cutting height. I just turned on the mower. Now let's see if I can change any settings. No. I can adjust the task speed and the cutting height right in the middle. That's cool. What I'd like to know is, yeah, multi-point turn. Okay. It's currently on multi-point turn. That's what you want to avoid ruts. Sorry, got out of off camera. Sorry, I was staring at my second phone. All right, let's. Oh yeah, I like the side lights. We'll see. Definitely no mowing on rainy days. Use all the features. Direct route. Oh, I won't follow the boundary for sure. This is great. They're letting me adjust all that on the fly. I don't know if it's going to apply to this run, but it's letting me change them at least. That's good enough for me. I mean, that's as good as you can ask for. Cool. All right, app settings. Oh yeah, default map. Let's change this to satellite map, and then map rectification. I'm guessing it needs to load the map first. I'm not sure why that would beep and do that. Let's see what the notification says. Planning start. So, all right, I think the app is a little confused right now. Just give it a minute and see what happens. Enter map. I'm tapping on the little GPS button, which should take the map, and yeah, I'm not able to touch the map at all. I think I messed it up by turning on that setting. So maybe don't edit the settings in the middle. So satellite map, let's go back to default map. Yep, default map works. So either the setting doesn't work yet, or it's because I'm in the middle of a mow. So we'll give it a minute, and might have to be another day that I record that. But all right, looks like it should be coming straight back. There's a little bit of a herky jerk, so I'll just let it get past that. Wait until it's on a nice straight run, then I'll stand in front of it and see what happens. I will do some other testing, such as getting it really close. I don't know why it turns off and then turns back on. I don't know if you can hear that or not, but if you can hear the beeps, that is coinciding with it turning off the blades. You can hear the buzzing stop, and then it will beep. It does some little turning, and then the blades start right back up. And it coincides with what's on the map, so I don't think it's a glitch. It's programmed that way. It appears to be following some type of rule based on where it is on the map. So maybe it just turns off the blades when it's doing its little tank turn. All right, it's on a nice straight run. We're going to back up, back up, back up. Well, let's give it a nice little challenge. I don't know how far it's going to want to go around, but I have the septic tank lids right here. So I'm not sure what it will do. It looks like it's aiming towards my right foot. So it will probably be inclined to go to the right, but then that's the edge of the map. Okay. It turned off the blades. It turned them back on. I'm not moving my feet. Okay, now I need to pivot so you can see the angle. And I'm sure you can see it on the screen recording, what it did. So that's definitely better path projection, just like they advertised. It went in more of a, came up and made a 90-degree turn, but then when it went around me, it went around me at a 45. So that way, if I was something longer, I guess it would be a little bit more comfortable. All right, well, that definitely worked. It probably would have worked on the last one because the radars can do the same thing, but that's cool. All right, well, I will leave the screen recording, I think, but I might just set this camera down somewhere where it can record. Yeah, I think I'll just back on up. really wish I had a tripod. All right, I think that's enough of that. Um, I would really like to do a time lapse video once I'm able to program a picture. Baseball season just started. My wife likes baseball. I really want to be able to put a baseball into there. But I imagine they still need to upload that feature into the app, probably with some defaults like they put on their website, a star, a heart, whatever. And then custom will probably be after that. So it might be a long wait before I can do that. But I think that would be the coolest time lapse. This time lapse is just going to look an awful lot like Luba 1 time lapses, and others can do a much better job. So I think I'm going to stop it here, um, go hang out with my son, and maybe later I can do some testing as far as getting really close to the house. But there was no real dead spot with Luba 1. I just had a couple of places that it yelled at me, but it once I moved it up into the attic, it didn't really yell at me anymore. It was just pausing every once in a while in the corner of our yard. There was no specific spot, but I have a general area of where it would pause. So we'll see if that happens. I'll report it to the community. Momotion won't, I don't think, would care if it paused. Um, some have wanted me to turn off RTK. I suppose I could do that, but I need to get up into my attic to unplug it. So I can't do that right now. All right, that is all. You guys have a good day.